No. That's.
I'm sorry. Yes, she
her suspicion
made it. Yes, she. Of course.
Yeah.
She's going to say it's her suspicions.
Yeah.
I believe that she knew damn well what was going on with these
I think
kids.
she did. By now, she did, because of.
But this was January. They didn't find them until June.
Yeah.
You know, if she did have a suspicion, why couldn't they find them earlier?
I didn't know where
because she didn't give them any information.
Well, I don't think she knew where they were buried. I don't think she knew that much information. She may have known, putting it all together, all these experiences that she's had, that they probably were dead.
We don't know if she did actually go to the police and say, I believe these kids are dead. We don't know that. She could have.
Yeah, we don't know. But I thought there at some point they had said she lied to the police at first.
Saying, yes, I believe she said JJ was with her initially.
Right.
And then she changed her story. So she's been known to lie, even to the police. And she's saying Julie Rowe is throwing her under the bus now because who knows why, but she's going to look bad when they turn up dead.
God.
Yeah. Exactly. She's out of control. Her aura was gone.
Her aura.
How I did. My stupid earphones off. I keep going to the earphone mode. My Bluetooth picking them up.
Goodness.
Anyway, so we're like a prideful group of preppers, you know that?
Oh, yeah.
So prideful, like we think, well, if everybody doesn't know what we know, then they're asleep, and they're just, look at them, and then we just judge, and judge.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound like very Christ-like.
So,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's been a little disturbing for me to see this movement go on. And here, I'm just going to put the headphones on so they'll quit changing over. I want to close the door. They left the front door open.
Okay.
And what?
Can I ask you? Are you ever been afraid for your safety since you were so close to? What if they decide you're a zombie?
Yeah, well, I'm not detracting from their mission being together. Their whole thing is they want to be together.
Oh, okay, good.
So I'm not stopping them from being together, so they don't have any reason popping me off.
Good.
I mean, of course, I've asked the Lord to protect me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Initially, she was scared, apparently, that she had to go up to David Warwick's place because Alex just lived down the street. But now she's not scared because she didn't keep them from being together, so she had no reason that she would expect them to do something to her.
I forgot what I was going to say. Something from the beginning of that paragraph, but
when they were talking about
the preppers. So they're still going on this prepper group, and they were going on, and they were doing it because of what Chad had said, that the world was going to end.
Yeah, it was supposed to be July of last year.
Yeah, we all made
it. We're still here, so
that's what we
and
were
it's
saying.
July. It's past July 2021 now. So.
Right, but so why are they still
prepping?
Yeah, I mean the world didn't end. You mean so that date was postponed?
It's
because Chad
is in jail and it didn't happen. They just keep going on and on and on.
They justify everything.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right.
the Lord said, well, if you keep my commandments. He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, I've learned that we're very prideful people, and we need to be repenting of just believing in anything, and just really we need to get back to the basics. And I tell you this, hey baby, I am so done with groups. Done.
Oh, absolutely. Me too.
So done. And this has taught me to just, keep my change of heart and focus on beautiful things and help my family and keep the commandments and do call and follow me and keep it simple. And if you want to get revelation, you don't have any business out seeking for your second comforter when you don't even know how to get along with people.
Right. Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
So insightful.
And Mike Stroud is a positive. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, he is. Yep. What, has he turned against the church?
No, but he's been ordaining people to the 144,000. But he has had an altar in his house.
He's had what himself?
Altar in his house.
What is that? I don't understand what that is.
An altar.
An altar?
You know.
Oh,
altar,
no,
like
he's got an altar in his house?
Yep.
An altar.
That's what I heard.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where
David
pray
does?
it.
David does?
No, this guy that she doesn't like.
I'm just listening to the prophet and the apostles, and that's
Yep.
it. Nobody else.
Yeah. So, please don't share this on social media.
No,
of course.
I promise I did not. Oh my God.
Please
For
don't.
safety reasons. But,
It's for safety reasons,
it's
although she's
so
not scared.
sad. You know how sickened I've been by this. So
Oh my
sickened.
goodness.
The first 2 months, I was like, I couldn't eat for the first 3 days.
I
First
bet.
3 days, I just couldn't even eat. I was so, disturbed greatly. And I've been in touch with Melanie, her niece, that kind of got involved. And I've been trying to call her and help her. She's just really jacked up. Like, she lost her kids. She got divorced.
Oh, no.
She's really jacked up.
And she's up in Rexburg alone. Everybody else abandoned her. I mean, it was sad. It's so sad. Yeah, it's so sad.
She did nothing to
Yeah,
deserve
it's
any of
really
this.
sad.
So
That's
did
why
they
she
exhume-
got
I know they
married
exhumed his wife's
so
body. Did they
fast,
find out
too.
it was foul play
So she could
with
be
her,
part of the
too?
144,000.
I
Yep.
don't know that information yet.
Okay.
And she's jacked because,
Oh.
I try not.
sorry, she's jacked because her husband didn't die. They tried to kill Brandon,
Yeah.
but they didn't succeed. So yes, she's jacked now because everything would have been perfectly fine if he would have died, and then she could have moved on and had her kids and all that kind of stuff. But he survived and
What?
wanted to
I
get
mean,
a
that's been
divorce.
awfully quiet. I mean, we don't hear
Yeah.
anything about that situation.
I'm
with
sure there's still
YFK.
stuff going on behind the scenes. So, yeah, like that to me is why she's jacked, because it didn't work out with
Yeah,
Brandon
she's
dying.
probably worried.
Yeah.
I try not to ask. I mean, I'm not a super nosy person, so I try not to ask him too many questions that might be uncomfortable. But I could have asked. I should have, but I didn't. But I just told him, I said, that he's talking to, like, people on the phone every day, right? Like, he's talking to most people in LDS about it. He goes, oh, yeah, we're very aware of it. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So he's around. If he's calling people, he's around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't leave the country or anything, right?
They could have gone to Hawaii.
Hawaii, oh brother, yeah.
She's talking about Chad.
She
Yeah.
loves Hawaii, so they could be in Hawaii.
Wow. Did
Yeah.
the police know that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, first off, and foremost, nobody gets revelation through somebody else. Anybody that's not getting anybody anything,
Exactly.
that's baloney.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're way off base if you're not somebody to say that you're, oh my gosh, that just makes me want to vomit.
Okay, so you don't get revelations from someone else. Melanie Gibb's right on board with that, but yet she did this up until this point. She was getting all the revelations from Chad and Julie Rowe, and she was actually saying that she had revelations.
Yeah.
So she's being
And David Warwick had revelation.
putting this stuff down, but yet she's in the middle of it, and you're just contradicting everything that you've done up until this point. So,
Yep.
It's sad, everybody, Chad was such a nice guy. And he did have a hard time looking people in the eyes, though.
That's a big telltale.
there you go.
Isn't it? Huge. Oof.
Yeah, I can't look somebody in the eyes, there's a reason.
Yep. They don't want you to see what's in you and in them. Oh man. Wow.
She should have known.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They're so bizarre,
Get to
the
the
whole
point where I think
troop.
the tree of life.
It's the most neatest thing in the world to start, but I've learned from it. It's a
There's this pause here because they're talking about stuff that the
Yeah.
person that taped it or put it on here didn't think that personal stuff,
Right.
not anything to do with the case. So.
Right. But yeah, she's crazy too. Another way of putting it.
Yep.
And I recently went to a doctor. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to, might know him and I don't want to do that. But he happens to have the same last name as one of the characters in this whole situation.
Okay.
So I said to him,
I feel like the adversary.
Sorry.
I said to him, you know, we do this true crime YouTube thing, and one of the cases we talk about, the person has the same last name as you.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, you know, I promise I don't have an alter ego. And I said, no, I don't think you have an alter ego.
Right. Are you associated?
I said, you could be related,
Yeah.
you know, and he said, and I said, you know, they are LDS, you know, they're Mormon. And with that, his response was, and this was the doctor's response, not mine. He said, you know, all those people, there's a disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
There's a disconnect somewhere. They just aren't facing reality. And I thought, wow. Even, you know, he's a guy from this area. We're in Pennsylvania. He doesn't really know this case, but that's his opinion.
Of the case or the church itself?
Of the church itself. Of the people belonging to the church. And, you know, he didn't know anything about the case.
Yeah.
But, yeah. There you go. There's somebody who doesn't know anything about it, and they're saying they're not going to be able to find a jury.
Yeah, I don't know if they can go out of the state, though, to get it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why they want to move it.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the pretrial hearing, by the way.
Always tried to, always had it in with me. Always tried to,
I know.
you know, but I've learned from it. It's if you, man, somebody needs to write a book about this, not specifically specifics, but to let people know they're all deceived, man. They're
so
all
much deception.
deceived. Yeah.
Yeah, so much deception.
Oh, and it's so easy to be taken out, to taken off.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Oh yeah, because you're trusting. They usually go after people that are very trusting.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because like, if we just stick, they think that the basics is so boring, but that's the safety is in the basics.
It is. And the Lord will teach you Himself.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Exactly. I've learned how to understand and get knowledge for myself, and I thought it is the most neatest thing in the world to start being able to receive knowledge for myself. And I thought, you know, Mike Stroud was trying so bad just to.
Mike Stroud is who she was talking about.
Spiritualism, and I thought it was really cool at first until he's excommunicated. I thought, wow, and he's like, you know, the general authorities don't know why they don't talk about these things and all this stuff. I know why. Look at what happens. That is just like.
Man. I know. It's so much. I've been telling people, as I've been sharing a lot with my friends and telling them they've been shocked, you know, because they know Chad. A lot of them know Chad personally, and I said, you know, and my Stroud, it's just prideful. It's all prideful. We want. And that's when the adversary comes after us. So we have to be so careful. And, you know, the Lord is teaching me, like, all about pride through all of this, and how anyway, I did have a dream that warned me about deceptions, and it was a lion chasing me in my dreams. And I came to understand it through other people. So my weakness is that I love and help. Because I have such a love for people, and I want to help people, it's my nature, I help people too much. I get to the point where I leave the tree of life to partake of the fruit, and I leave it and go try to get people to come back to the tree of life. And that's where my sin is I'm leaving the tree of life to go help people that are off and down the ditches, you know?
Right.
And Lehi never left the tree.
Exactly. Yes.
So the Lord gave me this cool dream about this lion coming after me, and every time it was going to eat me, and I'd always wake up with screaming. Well, I didn't scream, when I woke up, but I'd go, and then I wake up.
How do you know?
So
anyway.
I started to figure out it was about helping people, and so it's a long story how I figured that out, but I know it's true. And when this last portion happened where I cut my friends off and just said, you can't be a part of my life anymore, just by the way I handled them, I had a dream that night about the lions again. This time the dream, the lion came after me. Instead of screaming and turning around, I turned and I said, just believe in him, just believe in him, just believe in him. And then I see Jesus Christ. And he is standing there, and I walk towards him, and then he goes to the cave. And then I walk through the cave to where he was, and then he goes to the exit where the door is, and it opens up, and it's light coming out of it, just white light. And I wake up, and I go, oh my gosh, I finally believed in Jesus Christ enough to cut these people off of my life, and this is what the dream was about. Well, time goes by, and I'm now realizing I'm in the cave now. He was showing me the future of this cave now.
She might be.
But the good news is there's light.
Is that a jail cell are you talking about?
That's what I'm talking about.
And so I'm like, I can't believe he showed me already that. It was, but the thing what troubles me, or a lot, like I don't understand, is he led me through the cave. Like I followed him.
Right.
I followed him into the cave.
Wow.
He didn't follow me. I followed him. I'm
Wow.
like,
Why
did you
would
want me to
Jesus
go
follow
through that?
you?
To help other
It
people?
was a dream,
Oh,
Melanie.
absolutely, Melanie. No doubt. Absolutely.
Oh.
Everything you go through is everything turns.
I'm sorry, I have to interject. I followed him. He didn't follow me. Well, why the heck would anyone in their right mind that believes in God and Jesus think that Jesus would be following you unless you had a God, whatever complex it is?
I don't know. I just
Like,
I think she's putting too much into it.
but
Into a dream.
she said he didn't follow me.
Yeah.
Why would he?
Yeah.
No one in their right mind, I'm sorry, would ever think that Jesus would follow you. You're supposed to follow him, right? That's in all of the teachings.
Right.
Every religion I know.
Right.
Whatever higher being, you're following them. Okay.
Good. Everything is
Yeah.
for good.
Yeah.
I believe you will help people. I bet you'll write another book because you will be able to help people. Because there's going to be people are just. I mean, they're going to be deceived in droves. You know.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's bad, and so it's getting so bad. And I've told everybody, no more groups.
Right.
No more groups. No more groups.
Absolutely.
And all my friends, I'm telling you, everybody that I talk to are like, oh my gosh, I feel so sick. I need to repent. Everybody's repenting.
Wow.
Everybody's repenting.
That's
It's so
good.
beautiful.
That's
it's
good.
so beautiful.
Oh, that's so
and I was
good.
like, well, at least I went through this because they would have never repented had it not got to this level.
Right. Right.
If there was no deaths involved.
Thank God for Melanie. That's all I can say. These people would be lost souls if it was not for her.
And having them repent. Well,
Because it's all about her at this point.
It's their beliefs are so strict, and they're such zealots that.
But she's putting her above everyone else at this point.
Yeah, she is. But even her friend that she's talking to is obviously a believer in the whatever they're following, and I have such a hard time understanding that because of course it isn't my world, and I wasn't brought up in it, and,
right?
But boy, it seems so fanatical to me.
Yeah, Sherry does do an interview with Hidden True Crime, Lauren in Hidden True Crime as well. So I'll try to remember to link that. So she does tell about her, and she has been involved in cults and that sort of thing. So she's not had an easy time in her life. So I can understand her needing something to grab onto. But she also doesn't just look at it and take it for face value either. You hear her say, I didn't like that guy. Like, she started feeling weird about certain things that he was doing, so she knew, no, I had too much of this in my life. I'm not going to believe it.
Was she a follower of Chad as well?
I don't believe so. I don't believe she knew who Chad was.
Okay.
She could have known
of him.
It'll be in the interview with Hidden True Crime.
Yeah,
but I believe that she might have been, I don't know if she was into a vow or just listening to different speakers, but it was off the grid a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if she was part of the prepper group.
I don't know if she was part of the prepper group. I think she might have just been listening to things. I don't know if she was involved in groups because she never actually physically met Melanie Gibb either.
Okay.
If you get crazy like this, nobody would have ever known.
Right.
It leads to bad things.
Right.
And so, in a way, Chad and Lori were they were a blessing to many people often see how jacked up this is and how off they are. And I hope that Julie Rowe at some point will come to the conclusion that she's off.
Wait a minute. She said Chad and Lori were a blessing to many people because of how jacked up this was, and Julie Rowe needs to come to Jesus. Like,
To
really?
understand that. But I do have to tell you, I remember even Kay said, before Lori got so involved in these beliefs, that she was a good mother. That she was a very loving, good mother to those kids.
I get it, but she's not with her 24/7. We know what her history was, especially like with Charles's kids and how she manipulated that kind of thing. You know, Tylee, maybe they didn't have the best relationship either. We don't know. She presents something to everyone in front of them, but yet
that's
she might
true.
be different behind closed doors.
But not Charles's kids.
No, Charles's boys.
Charles's?
Yes.
Oh, Charles's boys.
Yeah, Charles's boys
Yeah,
from his
that's right.
previous marriage.
Right.
She manipulated, and they were in divorce court or custody for a long time,
Yeah.
and she was pushing things with that too. She made his son sleep in Tylee's room and then say he was...
Wasn't that also Adam's son? Zach? Wasn't he Adam's son? Her other brother.
Well, he stayed with them for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, so Adam, Zach doesn't... You know, I think Zach has... I did see something on Zach as well.
I saw him do an interview, and he at one point said, what stuck with me is that he was out and he came back in, and all these cars were out in front of the house, and he walked in, and they were talking, but as soon as they realized he was there, everybody stopped.
Okay.
And he said it was like a horror movie. They all turned around and looked at him. And he was freaked out by that. So I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah.
But it's just his impression
Right.
of the group and what was going
everyone
on.
did think Lori was, but you're not going to put your kid through all of this stuff with Joe Ryan and Tylee for years. You're not going to expose your kid to this if you are just a great mother. No, she wanted to get what she wanted. It wasn't about Tylee. So I think in front of everyone, she was the perfect mother,
Right.
the perfect wife, behind closed doors.
Did you see the video that Tylee put out about her mother?
Mm-mm.
You have to find that. I don't know where
Okay.
I saw it, but it's accolades about her relationship with her mother and how much, her mother meant to her. And
what kid is going to do that unless they need to get validation from their mother?
a kid that really likes their mother might do
Tell
that.
me what kid does that. Give me a kid that you know does that.
There might be a kid or two that does that. I don't know if it's Tylee, but there might be.
When anybody, to me, this is my thought, when anybody has to put out there how wonderful everything is and how wonderful this person is and blah, 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 they're looking for attention. They're trying to get validation from the person they're talking about. It's just not... I don't think it's a natural thing. I think you're trying to get something for it. Yeah, you could say, oh, I love my mom. When you're in front of people and everything else, you don't give, unless you're asked to give a dissertation on your mom and how much you love her and everything else, nobody puts that in words. You know what I mean? Unless you're giving her a nice card. But it's not for the world to see. It's for you to give to her.
Right.
That's just my take. I think it's too much when people do that. I think they're trying to get something that they're lacking.
It could
to me, that's my thought. But I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. But that's, to me, doesn't seem right. Maybe just because
you have to find that.
I have the number personally, but I don't feel inclined to talk to her at all.
Right.
Just don't feel that. She's very strong-willed, and to another strong person like me, being a female, I don't think she'd like me very much.
Right.
And so, anyway, I'm good friends with one of her really close friends, and him and I are close friends. But I haven't talked to her since he's been really involved with her. I've kind of cut ties with him because peace now. The Lord, I did receive a blessing from a man who's a good man here locally. His wife is amazing, and his children are just a beautiful family, and he's a really good man. And I just said, hey, I need a blessing. I've got some heavy stuff going on in my life. I said, I don't have time to talk to you about it because you got a kid that's sick right now, and I can't, we just didn't have a chance to talk.
Right.
And he gave me a blessing, and he said, he didn't even know what was going on. He said, the Lord is telling you to go back to your core beliefs. I was like, oh, interesting.
Perfect. Yeah.
And he said, there were people that are going to be criticizing you, but you should not listen to them. You need to turn the cheek and go forward.
Absolutely.
And
We are
yeah,
one
he
of
said, do not
two of
take
those
a,
people.
you need to take a step back. And you need to
I'm
heal,
trying to be a little bit more open-minded about
and
her.
take care
I'm
of your
trying. But she keeps just putting her foot in her mouth.
Yes.
You need to go read First Vision. And, I read the whole Joseph Smith history in the temple. And you know what Joseph Smith did? He said there was a great excitement in the land, and he did not engage in the great excitement. He decided to go to the Lord and ask the Lord himself.
Oh, isn't that neat? See, I've never put that two and two. I know that, but that's fantastic.
It's fantastic. He did not get carried away with the excitement. He decided to go to the Lord himself. I'm like, way to go, Joseph. You were true to us, Joseph. You were true.
Exactly. Oh my goodness.
You were true. I'm so thankful
A
for
little
his
boy,
trueness.
such a young little boy, and he knew.
14-year-old little kid.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so
I know.
fantastic.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yeah, so anyway, the guy finished the blessing, and he goes, I'm so sorry, and it's not me, I'm so sorry, but I feel like the Lord was chastening you. And I said, yes, he has been. You're right. No, it's not you, it's me. And he goes, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, you're fine. I know, you're right. He goes, the Lord is very aware of the situation. I said, oh yeah, he's very aware.
Oh, that's so good.
He was so in tune, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh, he was so in tune with what the Spirit was saying, whispering to him. He's a visionary man too.
Oh,
So interesting.
That's so neat.
So neat.
I wonder who this man
Is. I've had a hard marriage for 25 years, and the Lord told me last year, you can leave now. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I was so excited. I couldn't help but be joyful. I feel like I've been in prison for 25 years. It's been horrible.
It couldn't have been that bad.
I wrote the book, and I did the change, and I did all that, and there was no change in him. I was like, come on, they don't change.
Oh.
They don't change. I thought they change when you have a change of heart. No, they don't, Melanie. They don't necessarily change. The change is about you. It's not about anybody else. I'm like, oh.
There she goes again.
But I feel so happy and relieved not to be in that relationship anymore. I can't even tell you.
I'm so glad.
Is she talking about Lori, or is she talking about her husband?
She's talking about her husband.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I'm good. I'm doing good. And David is amazing. And, him and I are super compatible. And we both are diehard missionaries. We're both overzealous. That's our problem. That's what we get. You know what?
There's the word I
figured
use.
this out. If you're overzealous, then you go too much beyond the mark.
Right.
And too excited about things of God. And then he was teaching us to bridle your passions.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, oh, we are so not bridling our passions when we get so excited about things. And the Lord was trying to teach us, you need to bridle your passions so that you will have love for your fellow man. And I'm like, oh, okay.
If I must.
Yeah, I decided to ignore that one. Yeah, like, whatever. Yeah, so just remember when you really want something bad to make sure it's what the Lord wants.
Yeah.
And just don't listen to people anymore that tell you about the future unless, it's a personal one-on-one conversation or something like that. But,
Right.
Even then, it's kind of just in Revelation.
Absolutely.
And I'm done. I threw Chad's books away. I just chucked them in the garbage can.
Yeah, I never bought any of them, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I said to
I wonder
the
if they're
police
still
officer,
available.
For being a visionary man, he sure didn't see this coming, did he?
Look.
He goes, no, you're right. He didn't see this coming. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Well, I read too that he was excommunicated from the church too. That he said he was a prophet. And he was excommunicated from the church. Is that true?
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know.
That was along with all the police stuff that said that he was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I tried to talk to his bishop, and but he just moved wards when he married Lori, so he moved so quickly that the bishop never met him. Yeah, he never met him. So it's sad. I don't think the kids are alive. It's sad.
Oh, it's so sad.
If they're not, then they're okay. You know what I mean?
The Lord's
Savior took them. Yes, He took them up because, like, the little children that were sacrificed, the Savior's right there taking them. He's right there.
Oh, yeah, I do believe that. I do believe that.
So they will.
This woman has more compassion about these kids than Melanie does.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not part of her to have that. I keep saying that over and over
She's
again.
thinking about it, and Sherry's just so distraught about it, and of course now Melanie has to act like, yeah.
Yeah.
They're okay. They're okay.
Yeah, they are. It's just sad, you know. And I think, well, in this life they got repenting to do,
Oh, true.
and
Yeah.
they got to make it right. They got to get everybody to forgive them on the other side of the veil.
Oh, it is so hard.
And
There was one of his books.
It is hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you end a life. I mean, that's like they didn't get a chance to live here, and that takes their mortal probation, and it lessens it, and that's why it's so serious, you know.
Exactly.
It gets weird
Yeah.
there.
We all have to learn to forgive people in this life. It's about me. The people are going to offend. I'm pushed by the temple. I keep, I'm like, this is not the life.
And then it gets really crackly, so we can't hear the rest of it. But I think, you know, we heard most of what
Right.
we needed to, and yeah, it's a crazy thing. I was taken with Melanie when she did the Nate Eaton interview. I thought, wow, she must be. And when she did the preliminary hearing, I thought she was a pretty stand-up person, but
She was coached.
it all comes out in the end, and
Right.
this phone call just shows her true colors, I believe. So
It does show her as, you know, not a very feeling person, and
yeah.
But again, I say, I don't think it implicates her in the crime
No.
at all.
I wouldn't say it does. It implicates her in keeping it
Keeping
from the authorities.
Yeah, and in that case, you know, she could have maybe saved lives if she really did know what was going on.
Yeah.
But
Yep. And if
I
she
don't
was
know.
there with Lori, stuck like Velcro, that to me means that you're with them a hell of a lot, and you know a lot about what's going on with them. And you have your suspicions, but yet you don't tell anyone.
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But very interesting, and
It
we
is
do
interesting.
have, I do want to talk about in another video, this girl on fire is what she's called. Hidden True Crime did an interview with her.
Oh.
She was part of the initial group with Julie Rowe and Chad.
Oh, she
I don't
was.
believe, yes, I don't believe she met Lori. She might have just maybe met her in passing, but we'll talk about that because that was a pretty interesting interview
Yeah.
as well, about how things started going off the rails and how actually Julie Rowe was apparently making a hell of a lot of money off of her speaking engagements and everything, having all these volunteers work for her. You know, it was a big business for them. So,
Right.
you know, end of the world, doomsday stuff, you can make lots of money if you get people to believe you.
Right, and they go
Crazy.
around, you know, having all these speaking engagements, and they were part of Mike Straub.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think he was one of the founders of the
That's who
Vallow'S.
they were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, they arranged conferences for these people to go out and,
Yep.
you know.
Big bucks.
Right,
Big bucks.
right.
So, you know what? In the end, it's all about the money.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes down to it. So, but yeah, so we thought we'd bring that to you. It's very interesting, and let us know your thoughts. Comment, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Anything else, Vicki?
No, I don't have anything else, but don't forget to do that. Hit the little bell, because then you'll be notified when we are bringing new information out there for you to see. And especially since we're not on every week anymore. So just to keep up and, give some thought to participating with us.
Yep.
And let us know how you feel about that.
Yep. And we know this isn't all, this stuff has been out there. We're just trying to give our take on it, because we know that you've probably seen videos on this sort of thing. But we're just letting you know our thoughts. And sometimes something is said and you're like, oh, I didn't think about that.
Right, or that's wrong. So please, we'd need to know that.
Yep. All right, so I guess we will say until next time.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.